love me, keeping me up 2 cups of coffee. Baby, you make me feel so lovely. I keep on running, no, I should've wanted a high. I keep on falling right into your thought, I can't get you off my mind. So sweet, yeah, I need it from you. Got my hands all on you, sweet. Everything I want is sugar like yes, please. Love is like candy. Sweet, yeah, I need it from you. Got my hands all on you, sweet. Everything I want is sugar like yes, please. Love is like candy. Oh, what a rush each time you catch me. Chasing after the way you love me. Color my life up like confetti. Baby, you make me feel so lovely. I keep on running, no, I should've wanted a high. I keep on falling right into your thought, I can't get you off my mind. So sweet, yeah, I need it from you. Got my hands all on you, sweet. Everything I want is sugar like yes, please. Love is like candy. Sweet, yeah, I need it from you. Got my hands all on you, sweet. Everything I want is sugar like yes, please. Love is like candy. Sweet, yeah, I need it from you. Got my hands all on you, sweet. Everything I want is sugar like yes, please. Love is like candy. Sweet, yeah, I need it from you. Got my hands all on you, sweet. Everything I want is sugar like yes, please. Love is like candy. Nothing out there could ever stop me from chasing after the way you love me, keeping me up 2 cups of coffee. Baby, you make me feel so lovely. So sweet, yeah, I need it from you. Got my hands all on you, sweet. Everything I want is sugar like yes, please. Love is like candy. Sweet, yeah, I need it from you. Got my hands all on you, sweet. Everything I want is sugar like yes, please. Love is like candy. Sweet, yeah, I need it from you. Got my hands all on you, sweet. Everything I want is sugar like yes, please. Love is like candy. Sweet, yeah, I need it from you. Got my hands all on you, sweet. Everything I want is sugar like yes, please. Love is like candy.
Push it to the left, make it go no more. Red light, no, I'm coming back home. On dirt road, all on you. I'ma be great, write my name in the stone, write my name in the stone. Yeah, I'm coming back home. Yeah, I'm coming back home. Write my name in the stone, 'cause I'm coming back home.
Yeah, it was pretty warm out here today for sure. I think that, you know, the wind picked up on the back nine. I think that that was more of what I would consider the story. The front nine felt very smooth. The back nine, you know, we're starting to think about disc changes and stuff because of the wind. Yeah, it's awesome. We had a great gallery out here today, and I almost hit them with the disc, so I'm glad they got out of the way quick. And lots of Page Pierce shirts and hats and stuff, so it's a really awesome feeling. And you know, knowing they're out here waking up early to come support women's disc golf is really, really special. I don't feel comfortable with 9 strokes. If I was at 15, maybe so. That's almost 1 stroke a hole, but you know, you guys saw it yesterday on the men's broadcast, you know, lots of the best players in the world over par, and that course can really get you. So no, I'm not feeling comfortable yet. Maybe not until hole 16 or something.
It's Championship Sunday here at the Discraft Ledgestone Insurance Open presented by Grip EQ. Paige Pierce right now sitting with an 11-stroke lead. She's through 8 holes. But let's check in down on the course. Jessica Weiss on hole number 10. As the player is now about halfway through. And look at the roller on 10, curling up and almost coming up inside the bricks. Amazing shot from Jessica Weiss. And we're looking forward to another set of holes out here at Northwood Black. Hi, everybody. I'm Charlie Eisenhood, alongside the Hall of Famer Valerie Jenkins. Want to welcome you inside. Paige Pierce has talked a little bit about how she wouldn't feel comfortable out here, even with a 10-stroke lead. Right now it sits at 11, about halfway through the round. Is it over?
Well, she said she's not going to feel comfortable till hole 16 possibly, but we are almost there. And I think at this point, Paige is almost solidified this win. Of course, we know that Northwood Black is an extremely difficult course, but so far, Paige has been playing it pretty flawlessly this morning.
Well, it's going to be a battle, perhaps, for second place, where there's a lot of clustering on the scoreboard. Missy Gannon, Sarah Hokum, Maria Oliva, all within 2 strokes of one another, and that will be something to follow as we go through this. Maria Oliva trying to get her best finish ever at an Elite Series event. So let's take a look. We caught up with Paige, and we want to check in with what Paige had to say, and here's some highlights from her round and the tournament so far. So, of course, round number 1 out here at Northwood. GK Pro's footage, 237-foot throw-in for an eagle. Unbelievable shot.
Yeah, and the only eagle we've seen in the division this weekend. Unfortunately, she didn't get the eagle today, but she did take a birdie.
And really, she's had it going in all facets, Val. It's been great drives. The putting has been very solid. She's leading in almost every statistical category. It's been a wire-to-wire performance from Paige Pierce. She had the hot round in round 1, and she did it again in round number 2 with shots like this.
Yeah, and the course opened up as we made our way over to Sunset Hills for round 2 and round 3, and Paige's shots were just so dialed in off the tee. Even if they weren't, she was able to save herself with her putting. She was upwards of 90% C1X putting over at Sunset Hills.
Round number 3, continuing her strong play. Didn't quite shoot the hot round, but certainly plenty to extend her lead.
And that was a putt out of OB to save par. This is what she does on the next tee shot. Absolutely perfect. Hits the pin, drop in birdie for Paige. And she just really stepped up. She mentioned in her interview after round 2 that after Worlds, there was a bit of a, what's called a Worlds hangover, you know, feeling a little disappointed with how she finished, but now feeling a little bit more confident and getting back to the typical Paige Pierce we see.
And it's just unbelievable. Pierce versus the field. Look at the numbers. It's not even close. We talked about it yesterday, that birdie percentage. Even if you compare her to the next closest player, Maria Oliva is at about 30% birdie percentage compared to Pierce's 48. And that's just how dominant Paige has been today. She has almost 10 strokes gained tee to green higher than the second place person, which is Katrina Allen. So dominant stuff from Paige Pierce. And we're going to take a look at some front 9 highlights as we get ready to catch up with the chase card on hole 10. But let's take a look at what happened earlier today in the front 9. Here's Maria Oliva burying a big putt on hole number 4. She's trying to, again, score that podium finish for the first time. It's been an exciting week for Maria Oliva. And throwing the disc great. That's her second shot on hole number 5. And that blue disc on the ground in front of Haley King, that's Oliva's, and King knocks down the putt from the edge of the circle. Katrina Allen also hitting a big putt. She's had it going early in the round, currently sitting in a tie for 5th place. And your leader, Paige Pierce, lining up the shot on hole number 3 and just smashing it into the gap. Sarah Hokum has had a strong tournament as well, currently in 3rd place. Her drive on 3. So lots of good shooting today. Top 4 players all either even par or better. There's Pierce's second shot right to the pin. And she would go on to make the putt for birdie. Sarah Hokum trying to match it. And she would. She also gets the birdie from inside the circle. Hole number 4, Pierce off the tee. Gets into a spot in the fairway where she can throw her approach. Hokum, little leg kick action. We saw her get a putt to go down yesterday with the leg kick, Val. And then here's her second shot, Pierce. Pure. And almost puts it into the basket inside the circle for Pierce. She would back that up with another birdie. Hokum. Little back and forth battle between the two veterans. Hokum gets inside Pierce. Tap in birdie for Hokum. Katrina Allen on hole number 4, down in the ditch, looking for a birdie. Great putt from Allen. Gallery likes what they see. And a nice start to the round for lots of the top players. Pierce getting another birdie. And let's head over to the tee on hole number 10. Haley King sitting at 4 under par in a tie for 5th. Alexis Monduhano puts her drive inside the circle.
Monduhano sisters on a card together. This is Valerie Monduhano. They always seem to be battling, matching each other, tying each other, and now playing the final round here at Northwood together.
Valerie's drive hits the tree short of the green. Currently, Valerie sitting in 7th place, 3 shots ahead of her sister Alexis. And just a moment ago, Maria Oliva teeing off on 10. Ends up to the right of the green and behind those bushes. So there's a look at our leaderboard. Pierce, 11 shots clear, but look at the battle for 2nd place.
2nd place is up for grabs. It's just a matter of who wants it the most here in the final round. We're almost halfway through for most of our division. And you could see the race. Those 3 positions, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th, they're all currently sitting at even for the round.
Valerie Monduhano pitches up after catching the fairway tree.
And when you look at this basket, we started our show with Jessica Weiss throwing a roller on this hole. I mean, very... not the common throw that you would see, but the low ceiling does kind of lean in that way where maybe the roller will get you a little bit farther, where we see Valerie get hung up pretty early.
Most players opting for the air shot, just 325 feet. And it's another beautiful day here in Peoria, Illinois. Oliva going to find her disc in the right side woods. So you can see Oliva may have a look at the basket if she can get some good snap. A straddle. Off the tree and into the basket. I haven't seen anything like that all year on tour.
She is just as surprised as we are. Her reaction from deep in the woods was incredible.
It makes me wonder what was going to happen if it didn't hit the tree. Amazing.
Maria shot a 1-over in the first round out here at Northwood. Now, currently sitting at 1 under with that beautiful birdie make. Back to back, for that matter. What?
So now a 3-way tie in second place between Oliva, Missy Gannon, and Sarah Hokum, all at 8 under par.
This is dead and unattached. So Haley can move it out of her stance. You see, moving that fallen branch now allows Haley to step out here to the left-hand side. The more open look for her birdie putt.
Battle between King and Katrina Allen for the top 5 spot at the moment. Currently tied at 4 under. Low off the cage for King from the woods. Alexis Mondahano. Great putting stroke. Right into the chains. And now, her sister Valerie. Nicely done by the Mondahano sisters. For Valerie, though, that was a par after she hit the tree off her tee shot. King taps in her par. We've got to take another look at this putt from Maria Oliva. Out of the woods from a straddle. And it chips up off the branch and into the chains. Amazing.
And the look on her face tells us everything. She put it online. The tree just helped her out a little bit.
Give it a little more loft. Might have needed it. Let's take a look at some facts about Maria Oliva. She's from Texas. Of course, we were talking about that. Her and Paige Pierce up at the top of the leaderboard yesterday. Born in Guatemala and has come out on tour this season, and certainly this has been her best appearance and best performance of the year.
And this is a quote from Haley King. She's a weirdo who likes EDM. Liking EDM means you're a weirdo? I don't know about that. But Sounds like Maria likes good music, likes to get the hype going.
I wonder if she goes to Kevin Jones's dance parties. Saw some footage from the tour a couple weeks ago. Kevin Jones DJing a set.
Who knows? I
Kevin
didn't
Jones,
catch
a
that.
Big EDM fan.
Awesome. But Maria is doing very well in this tournament. Currently ranked 27th in the world with the UDisc ratings.
And our lead card now on hole number 10. Paige Pierce, not only your leader, but shooting the hot round so far today. She had 4 birdies in the front 9 and just the 1 bogey. A little bit short from Pierce. So Paige Pierce also chasing a little bit of history today. The largest margin of victory at a Disc Golf Pro Tour event, 16 strokes. That was set by Katrina Allen. Paige Pierce right now, 13 shots clear of second place. So we'll keep an eye on that as we move through the round. Oakham chasing that second place finish.
I'm trying to fend off the rest of the competitors trying to chase it down as well. Sarah Hokum, I've been impressed with her play through this week, being able to keep up with the birdie percentages. Trina, she's currently tied in 5th place, 4 under. So you can see where the tie for second at 8 under. So Katrina's fallen back just a bit. Missy Gannon, 2 bogeys on the scorecard today. 1 birdie brings her to 8 under for the event.
Excellent shot from Gannon. Best drive of the bunch, right up to the stones in front of the basket. And continuing to play loose out there.
So you mentioned the margin of victory, and Paige is continuing to extend on the lead she has. But here's one stat we didn't show. Paige Pierce has 7 OBs for this tournament. 3 in the first round, and then 2 each round she played Sunset. So Paige plays aggressive, but gets her in trouble sometimes. But beautiful shot there from Missy Gannon, who is having a great putting round, even though not necessarily under par. She's been able to save herself a few times. 80% C1X.
It's really been a great season for Missy Gannon. Of course, getting the win at the Des Moines Challenge, but lots of top 5, top 10 finishes at Elite Series events. And just one of the most consistent players on tour. Pierce from long distance.
I was surprised when that flew past the basket without hitting chains. That looked online to my eye.
Well, it was exactly the right height, just missed it right. And Pierce, she seems to know. As soon as she lets go of the disc, you get the reaction, whether she likes it or not. Allen, a couple steps closer. She finds metal, but not the chains.
And it was a disappointing putting show out at Sunset, where Katrina Allen dominated in this tournament last year, where all 4 rounds were played at Sunset Hills. Unfortunately, just wasn't able to hit the birdie putts. Today, she's 100%. So it's just like that. One day can be so different from the next. when putting comes into play, it usually is all mental. We know these women know how to hit putts.
This Northwood Black course proving to be a real challenge. Best round in round 1 was 4 under par. And the course averaging for the field more than 8 strokes over par. Hokum for birdie. Can't believe it.
Those ones hurt. And you can just see how much that one hurt. Sarah Hokum, I mean, a matter of a few centimeters. Hitting that top nub smacks the putters down.
Pierce cleans up her par. And now Gannon. This short putt for birdie to move into a tie for second with Maria Oliva. Hokum falls back into fourth with the par. Up ahead to hole 11, our chase card on the green, Haley King lining up her birdie putt. Strong, confident stroke today from King.
She knows as soon as she releases it, she can pick up that mini and it's in. Just such great extension to release the putter on line.
From about the same distance, Alexis Mondojano gets it to go. So a couple birdies for our chase card. Maria Oliva trying to make it 3 for 3.
My goodness, what a display of putting from this group. Everyone around circle's edge, and that was the 3rd birdie in a row for Maria Oliva.
So making up for the double bogey on 8. Now 5 birdies on the round.
Hole 9, she tapped in a 5-foot putt for birdie. Hole 10, 60-foot putt for birdie. Hole 11, 38 feet. So she is working not only with the drives, but with the putts as well.
3 for 3 from circle 2 is Maria Oliva. Now our lead card takes the tee on hole number 11, par 3, 260 feet. Got to shape it through the woods. That's the name of the game out here at Northwood Black, this new course. Inside the circle for Missy Gannon. Flex, soft Anheuser Flex backhand right up to just inside the circle.
And when we caught up with the women on the first round that we played out here at Northwood, it seemed that the front 9 was the most difficult. We see today Paige significantly improving. And in the back, there are a lot of birdie opportunities. As long as you can keep it down the fairway, set yourself up in the perfect landing zone on the longer holes. And on holes like this, under 300 feet, you have to get the birdie.
This was the easiest hole on the course in round number 1. You can see why. It's fairly short, a little bit more forgiving fairway with some width. You just have to miss 1 or 2 trees. 38% of the field birdieing in hole number 1. Round number 1, excuse me.
So done, and today we're at 41% birdies. So having a second chance to get your eyes on this course, second chance to play it in a competitive round, The players are only going to get more dialed in, the more chances they can get to redeem themselves.
Allen. Just past the basket. She'll be putting from inside the circle as well. Let's take another look at the drive from Paige Pierce. She gets the CTP for our lead card, and you know, you just can't catch Paige Pierce when she's throwing the disc like this, and that's really been all weekend long.
Not leaving the door open much to gain strokes.
Sizable gallery out there today, Val.
It is an early morning round. It's awesome to see everyone following, taking in the shots. The men's round will finish up at Eureka, so this is the last chance for anybody to spectate out here at Northwood for the tournament. Seems like half of the gallery has cameras in their hand. Awesome to see, and thank you to all our hardworking cameramen out there providing live coverage and are post-produced, getting every shot from these amazing, talented athletes.
So a chance here for a star frame. Sarah Hokum's drive, I think, was the furthest out. She'll be near the edge of the circle, but may have some obstructions after her drive finished right into the edge of the woods.
You can see on the right, the rough comes in a little bit closer. The more open part of the green is on the left-hand side.
Hokum, one shot back of second place. She knows Missy Gannon is inside the circle. Missed just a bit high on hole 10. See if she can make the adjustment.
You can see Sarah uncomfortable with that stance and maybe pulling thorns out of her arm. But she had to change up her putting style because of the bushes and the trees in her way. So not able to hit that one. We'll see if it even makes a difference. Missy Gannon stepping up to a lengthy birdie bid.
Gannon from about 30 feet. To take control of solo second place. Knocks it down. Missy Gannon moving to 10 under par.
Missy Gannon has really gotten her putting stroke back, and that has been able to allow her to score. That's why she's been so consistent, as you mentioned, and that's what won her the Des Moines Challenge. If you guys haven't seen it yet, check it out on the Disc Golf Network. That finishing putt from Missy Gannon, that is what champions are made of. When the pressure is on, can you make the putt for the win?
Missy Gannon third here in the tournament in strokes gained putting, shooting 27% from circle 2, 77% from C1X. Paige Pierce makes her birdie. and Hokum cleans up the par. So a look at the leaderboard. Pierce leading by 12 strokes now, and we will see how the action unfolds throughout the rest of this round right after this.
Thank you for tuning in to this week's coverage on the Disc Golf Network. Because of the record support you have given us at the Ledgestone Pro Shop, over the last year we are able to offer a record amount of added cash to both DGLO and Ledgestone. In addition, we are also planning a very sizable donation to charity. Thank you for the continued support, and please enjoy this week's coverage.
Through the duration of my career, I've always used a traditional bag. I had to start thinking about the future of my career, and that's why I chose Zuka. It was nice to find a cart that could fit all of my discs, all my accessories, and still look slim and sleek. What Zuka offers, I know will meet my needs for the rest of my career. I am Paul Ulibarri, and I am a Zuka athlete.
Welcome back to Disc Golf Network. Maria Oliva on hole 12, throwing her 4th shot on the par 5. She's been in some trouble and still has to get up to the green from there. Now we go live to Haley King. That was her 3rd shot, so she is well inside the circle looking for a birdie.
That was a beautiful shot from Haley, and if you guys are looking at this hole and thinking it looks familiar, this is one of the original holes from Northwood Gold. You can see it's just so much more worn in. The fairway's looking absolutely beautiful with the grass growing all the way down, but beautiful hole, but very scary for the players. You have to stay down the middle of the fairway for every shot. And you can see the elevation changes.
725-foot par 5. Players mostly just trying to get to the base of the hill with their tee shots. That's just fine for Missy Gannon. Pierce has been able, as is often the case, to get some more distance, sometimes even up onto the slope of the hill. Being in the middle, most important.
And this first shot is the most open. Paige saws it off. She's on the left-hand side, so well short of the start of the hill. And it's scary. On this hole, you see players, if they're not able to throw a good shot, they'll try and get greedy on the next. And this fairway only continues to narrow as it gets to the basket.
Hokum on the right side will have to contend with those pair of trees for her second. Katrina Allen now trailing Haley King by a stroke. sitting in 6th place.
As expected, so accurate with the driver. Katrina Allen, perfect location to attack, hopefully, the second part of this fairway. You see this rewind. Katrina Allen really uses the full amount of the fairway. See a lot of space on the right-hand side. So dials up the hyzer, and with that angle lands in such a great position. And not a lot of skip at the end, and that's what she'd hope for.
So let's take a look here at hole number 12 from the tee.
Well, Katrina Allen gave us a great preview of what you have to do off the tee. Look at how dangerous it could be if you hit early. You'd be down in this ditch, and I don't even want to think about it. So the best shots, as you were mentioning, are at the base of this hill. If you land in the center, you'll be lined up with the rest of the fairway. And at this point, the fairway really narrows to about 20, 25 feet wide, and it really requires the accurate shot. If players start to get greedy and try and bite off a little bit too much, a little bit of skip here or there sends you deep into the woods, and those trees are so tight and stacked up on each other.
We've seen players plinko from left to right in the woods trying to get some distance with their pitch outs. A lot comes down to disc selection.
That's for sure.
If you go faster disc to try to bite off more distance, it's so much riskier if you catch a tree. Again in second. Well, she was in great position off the tee, but just pushed it right. It never came back, and now will have to contend with that right side on her third.
And that's the thing with throwing slower speed discs. They're going to go pretty much exactly where you throw them, and Missy missed the line on that one.
So there is a gap here for Pierce. How aggressive will she go? Throwing a mid-range.
Or rolling a mid-range. Well, yeah. We'll see.
Well, it got out, but pushed out over to the right-hand side. We'll see where her lie leaves her. Back up to the chase card. Maria Oliva throwing 5. Trying to save bogey at this point. And she puts it up inside the circle. And that, from Haley King, is a birdie.
Haley
Well
King's
played.
the third person of the day to birdie this hole. That's 9% of the field. She joins Juliana Korver and Ella Hansen. Then we have about 50% of the field carding par, and then another 40% bogey or worse.
I would love to have watched how Juliana Korver played this hole. You know, Juliana Korver and Ella Hansen, two very different kinds of players with different strengths and weaknesses. Sarah Hokum throwing 2 between the trees. And from that position, a good outcome. Up to the top of the hill and right in the middle. Last to throw, Katrina Allen. Looking to the Anheuser forehand. It's like a fairway driver for Allen.
She had the angle, but the height was just not there. And with that hillside, it hit early. She rolled far into the rough on the right.
So not great second shots from anyone on our lead card.
When you're in the rough on a lot of these holes, there's no shortcuts. You can't get to the basket, find a miracle gap. It's going to be likely that Katrina's going to have to pitch out back to the fairway. Wow, look at the slope that Paige has to stand on for this next shot. At least she can get a better visual on where she's throwing.
Checking her swing.
Beautiful.
Well executed from Pierce. Good distance from a standstill and a poor footing, and leaves it right in the middle.
Yeah, I feel like if you took out a tape measure, it would be exactly even on both sides. She is smack dab in the middle.
So Lion 3 will be playing for par.
Sarah's caddy looking so fashionable in his Masters white caddy gear. See the pin all the way down at the end of the hallway.
Will it get through? It won't. If it had missed that tree, she might have been inside the circle, but catches it.
You saw Trina walking to the left. She had no idea where that finished. Of course, completely blind from the bottom of the hill.
Sarah Hokum taking some deep breaths. And we've seen this course just be not only physically taxing, but mentally taxing. If you've been watching the FPO coverage on the Disc Golf Network the last couple days, we've really seen the course put a lot of pressure on players. Some players getting frustrated, almost looking like they're giving up. And that's what this course can do. Gannon forced to just pitch back out into the middle. And sometimes you just don't have a choice. If you try to do too much, you end up in a worse spot than you started. Allen going to step out and maybe try to get a little bit more yardage down the fairway.
Right. Well, Katrina definitely not as bad as I thought. Trees helped her out, kept her on the edge. But like you're mentioning, Charlie, these rounds on these days, the wooded courses just continue to get longer and longer. And if you're not comfortable playing in the woods, it is really easy to find yourself down in the ruts. And it's so hard to kind of get a routine back. It's hard to get your game back to where it feels comfortable when the shots have to be so accurate. You have to be focused on your lines at all times. With how long these rounds are taking, it is sure to weigh on the players. Missy Gannon, fourth throw. Beautifully done.
And par is a just fine outcome on this hole. I mean, As mentioned, only 3 birdies on the entire day. Allen throwing her 4th. Inside the circle for Katrina Allen. Pierce.
About 100 feet to go for her birdie. Oh, and hits the last tree.
She's still going to be putting from inside the circle, but won't be as close as she'd like.
Sarah Hokum lining up her 4th shot.
Giving it a chance. So, lead card will all be putting for par from circle 1.
Need a little kid play action to.
Little back and forth. Sarah Hokum. Paige Pierce, about 25 feet. Pierce maintaining her 12-shot lead. Again, trying to chase the record 16-stroke victory on the Disc Golf Pro Tour set by Katrina Allen. Gannon to stay 2 shots clear of 3rd place.
Coming into this tournament, we emphasize the importance of getting par. So far, we've seen a lot of birdies, but on tough holes like this, par is good. Par is what these players are shooting for.
Sarah Hokum sneaks it over the cage. And Katrina Allen is last to putt. She'll stay at 4 under par. She's in 6th place, 2 shots back of Haley King. Let's take a look at the leaderboard. Gannon sitting in solo 2nd place. Maria Oliva, Sarah Hokum still trying to chase her down, and maybe Haley King could make a run from the chase card. Well, we'd like to say thank you to the PDGA. They have been covering and hosting the Pro Masters World Championships, and we're going to get a look at what happened and some.
I'm Grant Zellner with a recap. In FP40, a number of veterans competed for the title this year. Owen Scoggins with a commanding lead entering the final day of play. She enjoyed a final 9 that was something of a victory lap and comes out on top with a world title.
Oh my God, I feel amazing, and it's just, you know, this is only thing like I want in my career. Either world champion with FPO or world champion normal, but I'll take this one first. And I feel so happy, so yes, I'm gonna serve it tonight. It's very hard, tricky, and this court is test you like, doesn't matter you throw short or throw far. As long as you hit the line, you can win. So that's how I'm thinking. And then these courts have teeth, so you better on top of the game, you know what I'm saying? Like, and then I just love the course because they have so many variety, up and downhill, a lot of trees, some open hole, so it's very good for the champion course, yeah.
There were still fireworks, though, in that final 9 as Elaine King charges to a second-placed finish. Jennifer Allen finished 3rd.
My pleasure to introduce to you your Women's Masters World Champion on Scoggins!
So Owen Scoggins dominating the competition, finishes 28 under par, and that second place, Elaine King, 5 under par. So
Wow.
tremendous performance from Scoggins. We were looking at her round ratings earlier in the week, and she would have been competitive out here at Ledgestone had she chosen to play. What do you make of it? It feels like every year Masters Worlds gets a little more interesting as some of the legends of the game who are continuing to play at a high level go on to compete at that event.
Yeah, it's just incredible to see Owen win a huge tournament like this, because we do see her playing in the open division and she is highly competitive. She hangs out. She doesn't have the biggest distance, but her putts are always on fire. And to see her now competing in an age-protected division and absolutely shredding it. She knows that she's a great player, so she typically plays an open because that's where she feels that she can be competitive. And then she steps over into the Masters division and dominates at the highest level of a tournament that you could do. And so Owen Scoggins, she is a role model, and I can't wait to see what she does now with this world title.
I love what she said. It doesn't matter how much distance you have. If you hit your lines, you can win. And that is true. And I think she shows it to you right there at the Pro Masters Worlds, where she wins by 23 strokes. So our leaderboard remains big lead for Paige Pierce. Missy Gannon now getting a little bit of separation in that second place spot. We've got 6 holes to play. Come back in just a moment.
You've seen them in the hands of professionals, helping them compete at the highest level. Whale Sacks is a female-owned small business, handmade in the USA. We are dedicated to outstanding grip for all disc golfers.
a little scenery here at the Northwood Black course. There's a backup here on hole 13.
You can if you want, you don't have to. If you added all their ages together and you added all of our ages.
I like the shades, but
Yeah.
isn't bad.
I mean, they're probably under.
Let's go up ahead the fairway on hole 13. Leva in the woods off the tee shot, now throwing her second. And she does get back out into the open, but lots of distance still to get up to the pin.
You can see it there.
Yeah.
And it's shining in the sun up on that hillside. That's a beautiful recovery shot from Maria. And really, when you're playing in the woods, you can have an exceptional round going, but you have to assume that at some point during the round, you're going to be in the woods. You're going to have to scramble and save yourself. You just have to be in a constant combat mode when you're playing on technical courses. Let's take a look again at Maria's shot. Big Anheuser release. Just short of those wide trees on the left-hand side and brings it in perfectly, using the hill to skip up to the top. So you can see that pond there just below the basket. That is out of bounds. Can certainly come into play on the second shot.
85. Without. There's only 3 of us. 122. 130. It works out. 130.
Back to the chase card. Haley King getting set to throw her third shot. Also in a scramble mode. Your scramble leaders this weekend at 43%. Haley King and Paige Pierce.
There you go. Just goes to show, even the best players, they have to be the best scramblers. I think I won that one year.
The scramble percentage competition?
Yeah, on the Pro Tour, I had the highest.
What does it take to be a great scrambler as we see Haley King get out towards...
Wow.
Well, it's not clear if she cleared that water. We heard land. We'll have to see as she comes up to the basket if she got over that OB water in front of the basket.
And scrambling means you throw some horrible shots, but then you also throw some great ones too. So it's not the best statistic to brag about, but it's fun.
What does it take to be a great scrambler?
You have to know that you still have a chance. I mean, you're still playing the round. You're still in it. And even with a bad shot, know that you can recover.
So King was out of bounds in the water. So now she'll be putting for double bogey from circle 1. So the wrong time not to have your best scramble shot. This hole 13, very tricky with that pond in front of the green. Missy Gannon now on the tee here on 13, 502-foot par 4.
It's all about placement on this tee shot. Hit the line and make sure the disc is landing right at the corner. Missy's a little inside here, but gets a bonus kick from the trees, bouncing her into a great position. And getting just past that fluffy evergreen right there in the middle of the fairway. You can see it just down the center of our frame. That's what the players are aiming for.
Want to be just left and a little bit long of that evergreen. Pierce catches a right side tree. She will stay in the fairway. She's short.
But for a sidearm thrower on this one, you can be a little bit more aggressive. We're seeing Sarah with a smile, little wry smile. I'm interested to see what's the game plan for Sarah. Shot shape is perfect for the flight of her throw. Nicely done. And even on the right-hand side, you can see she's close to the right-hand side trees. It opens up the sidearm for her second shot.
Great drive from Katrina Allen. She'll be looking at the basket. Back to the chase card. They're on the green. Valerie Mondahano has a putt for birdie.
Even with the basket here, the water's on the right. Not a problem. Great putt.
That's her first birdie since hole number 6. She's 3 over on the day. 2 under for the tournament and in a tie for 7th place. Alexis Mondahano also putting for birdie.
Haley, I have a hook. If you see
She
it.
puts it in, and she's tied with her sister at 2 under par.
And both of them are currently chasing down Haley, who is putting here for double bogey.
And Oliva, who was in the woods, had to make that big Anheuser scramble shot, executed it perfectly, gets the tap in for the par save. Currently, Oliva in a tie for 3rd with Sarah Hokum.
Paige just going with the layup, short of the pond. So a little short and out of position to hit that big Anheuser line. We saw Maria do it, so it definitely is possible.
Well, Pierce in a position right now with a 12-stroke lead where no reason to try to get any kind of aggressive at this point. Gannon. Not quite as far left as you'd like to be. And line up that Anheuser. To go. And beautiful shot from Missy Gannon. Puts it within 5 feet. Fantastic line from Gannon.
I was a little worried about that one with the height, but she did have enough power to get over the pond. Let's see, is skimming death, but hits the side hill, and you can really see how much action you can get with the skip.
Allen testing the left side. She'll be safe. Disappointing shot from where she was, though, after her tee shot.
For Sarah to get so much distance off her drive, she actually puts herself in not the best position. You can see how those trees just clump out. That angle for her sidearm is very extreme. I'm not sure, thinking about angle and the height and what it would really take for a shot to get to the basket. You can see her and her caddy talking that out. Possibly lining up something to shoot through the trees. Nope, looks like a layup.
So just getting into position for the third shot. Really tricky angle there to try to attack the pin.
But that is such smart golf. Any of you at home are watching this and trying to develop your wooded golf game, these are the things you need to note. I mean, being out of position in the woods, sometimes it's the best decision just to lay up.
Pierce just long enough to clear the pond. She'll putt from circle 1 for par. Pierce just 1 bogey today.
Is she feeling comfortable yet? Are we at the point yet? I think we are.
6 holes left. It would take a major blunder for Paige Pierce to even open the door for Missy Gannon. Sarah Hokum. Great line here with the forehand. Checking up to the basket.
Whoa.
Came in a little hot. Didn't catch the side hill. Instead skipped off the top. And tricky putt coming up. Missy Gannon threw a low line drive. Needed to stay up. It did, and it skidded right up to the basket.
And for some players, the ground play can be favorable, as we see Missy landing short, skipping closer to the basket. For Sarah Hokum, kind of the opposite here. See how far her disc ended up skipping past.
Trina Allen has a clean look at the basket, but she's well outside the circle.
And of course, it does slope away behind the pin.
55, maybe 60 feet for Allen. Dead center, but just a touch low off the cage. Disc stays on the side hill, though.
And with how conservative Sarah played and how smart she played to lay up to the middle, not go for the pin. Still looking for her disc. And there it is. Putting back uphill to the basket. The opposite of what Katrina just had to deal with, now sloping behind the pin here, but water could come into play. Something were to happen on a roll. Not what Sarah had hoped for to get a par. layup and a tap in bogey for Sarah Hokum. See, currently in that battle with Maria Oliva.
Pierce cards her par. She stays at 4 under through the round. Missy Gannon. And Katrina Allen drops in hers. Sarah Hokum, frustrating bogey here on 13. And how about this front row seat? I don't think this little guy had to pay his admission ticket. Just creeping in from the algae pond guarding the green. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back with our frog friend here on the Disc Golf Network.
When I walk up to the tee, I have these game plans. I know where I want to land. I know the distance to the basket from those positions. I think I'm going to land in these same areas every single time, but you never know. I know how far I am. I know the height now. Having the Bushnell rangefinder, no matter where I land, gives me that extra level of confidence.
Me and my brother and my dad were out there for hours just playing disc golf, having fun.
That's like one of the first things we usually say. It's a great family sport. We got to do it as a family.
And it builds relationship. Like, I know my dad so much better because of disc golf.
It's nice that that's something that we can connect and go do together.
My parents are 100% behind it. Bad rounds, good rounds, doesn't matter. They always have a smile on their face.
We don't call it sacrifice, we call it fun.
Get out there and have fun. At the end of the day, most important is have fun.
At Upper Park Disc Golf, we're in business to make the game better for everyone. We do that by helping our player team grow their brands, by donating to great charities like You Play Disc Golf, by maintaining a 98% customer satisfaction rating, and by living our core values. Play different, create legendary relationships, be a good human, and enjoy the ride. So when you buy from Upper Park Disc Golf, you know you're buying from a company that loves the game as much as you do. Upper Park Disc Golf. Play different.
Your leader, Paige Pierce. Maybe checking scores. Maybe texting a friend. Maybe
no.
looking at.
I didn't get a text.
Okay, there you go. Maybe you could be getting taking a look at the projected payout for first place. $4,000 this year at Ledgestone. Second place looking like $2,500. And that's been, of course, one of the key features of this Ledgestone event, particularly in recent years. You look at the largest purses in Disc Golf Pro Tour history, 5 of the top 6 here at Ledgestone.
It's absolutely incredible to see the growth of this tournament from when it started not too long ago. It's actually still a recently new event, even though it is gained so much prestige with the players, and it's because of the purse like this. It's a massive payday. Nate Heinel has done such an incredible job on fundraising and creating the hype, with over 1,700 players coming to Peoria, competing in amateur and professional divisions. It is just incredible to see the growth.
This year's purse will be well over $100,000 with $75,000 added cash. That's more than double any other event on tour this year besides the World Championships. Defending champ here at Ledgestone, Katrina Allen, taking a little breather during this backup. Allen has always had a great attitude about dealing with backups. Manages to find things to do. She likes to do crossword puzzles during the delays. Maria Oliva was going to step up and throw her fourth, but looks like the spotter saying not yet.
And then once he turned, I was like, oh, yeah.
So we have 3 groups here on this par 5, hole 14. It's a dog leg to the left. The drive puts you in a placement shot where the chase card's currently sitting. And this is a second shot. The basket behind the camera view. You can see how challenging it could be to hit the line, and noticing the wind starting to pick up here in the woods. If you don't have crossword puzzles, you gotta find some other way to entertain yourself.
There's one way. Haley King rocking the hacky sack. Oh, she's good too. Wow. Keep it going.
I'm good for like 2 kicks, maybe. Haley King's had a lot of backups in the last couple of years on tour. So clearly stepping up her skills.
Well, yeah. This is a
Hole number 14. Take a look at the layout of this hole. It's about 200 feet to the corner, and it's a very small landing zone. And then it's just a lot of shots up to the basket. And this stretch of holes, 12, 13, 14, so challenging. And we saw in MPO players just sometimes having meltdowns through this stretch of the course.
Like getting the virus? Are they vaccinated?
They didn't respond to that one, which we were messaging back and forth like 30 messages, and then when we got to that one, they didn't.
They think they'll just get stuck over here if stuff
That's
goes
what I
down.
said too. When they didn't respond, I sent a follow-up thing. I was like, if it's about this, here's the remedy. If it's about this, here's the remedy.
Maria Oliva finally able to step up and throw her fourth shot on the par 5.
Wow, Maria found so much space on the right-hand side of those trees. So there's a couple of different shots that you could take. Maria not choosing the obvious one, but getting so much distance off that second shot.
Alexis Mondujano throwing her third. Well, her disc kicked back across the fairway, and that's probably for the best. Wasn't hooking up and was headed for the left side woods.
The wind pushing from right to left. That makes this straight shot very challenging as the wind is pushing on off to the left, but that Anheuser flight from Valerie, she's able to stay on the right hand side, and a little tree help kicks her back to the center. Beautiful day here in the Midwest. 85 degrees, 77% humidity. We can see the wind starting to pick up.
It's always interesting in the woods. You know, you'll have holes where the wind is a non-factor, and other times where it opens up a little bit, you might suddenly be dealing with wind, whether that be a cross or a headwind. Haley King staying loose, waiting for Heather Young on the green, putting for par.
Sitting at even for the round. even for the tournament. And she stays at even par. Oh, there's a moment where that putt looked like it was going to spit right back out the basket. That was dead center. Almost too perfect.
Back to Haley King. Callie McMorran there karting to par with her putt. King throwing 3 in perfect position. But just a poor shot from King. That's such a challenge to have to sit in a backup for 10 minutes after your tee shot and then have to step up and throw an extremely accurate and precise shot. It's been a problem out here at Northwood Black, some very long backups. A lot of players really like the challenge this course provides. I think considered by many, if not most, the hardest course on tour this year. To the tee, our lead card, Missy Gannon, teeing off on 14.
Missy trying to get around the corner. She leaves the little inside. Thankfully, she's on the edge of the rough. So you could either just lay up straight ahead, get to the corner, or you can bite off a little bit more and skip around. Paige leaves this one high, ends up going long.
Well, in round number 1, she threw an incredible shot. Same line, but had it finish further left out into the fairway. Bit off the distance, but this time she's going to be pinched off on the right side. Allen. Sneaking through and should be in okay position, at least throw forehand.
So 3 backhand shots. Hyzer line. What is Sarah Holcomb going to do for us?
With a turnover, finishes out to the right. That's the hard part about throwing a forehand on that shot. Even if you can get it around the corner, it just wants to push out to that right side. Let's take a look at Missy Gannon's form. It's her patented form.
This is Missy Gannon throwing a hyzer. Such a pure, smooth release. She doesn't reach back as far as maybe a Haley, or we saw Maria yesterday, or Paige, but she reaches back far enough, and then it's this smooth release, making sure that she's continuing the line on that hyzer flight.
Does a nice job getting into that power pocket. Watch as this elbow extends through and then snaps the disc through the middle. And that is the Sunstein patented moment. Sunstein LLP is a proud sponsor of disc golf. They help protect their clients' ideas and important brands through patent and trademark registration and litigation services. Sunstein is the home of winning intellectual property. Learn more at sunsteinlaw.com. Katrina Allen on the fairway.
Got 2 drives on the left, 2 drives on the right. Everybody having to scramble on their second. Oh my. Katrina got a huge kick off to the right. There is out of bounds, but that would mean her disc would have to fly all the way through the woods and find the cornfields. Hopefully it got a second kick, but it's not going to be fun.
Gannon not looking to do too much. Just a simple pitch out to the middle. Very conservative play from Missy Gannon. She is 3 strokes up on third place right now. Perhaps that playing into her decision. Katrina Allen not happy with her second shot.
So unfortunate too, because Katrina, I know she wanted to just pitch out to the center, set herself up, and all of a sudden you're just finding yourself having to scramble yet again.
Sarah Hokum could be in a position to be a bit more aggressive with the forehand line out of this right-hand side. See the wind.
Will do. It's a good layup from Sarah.
Park. I never said that. I said that one time a year or 2 ago, and I never said it. Did you pick your ass for that?
It was like a 15-footer.
So now Paige Pierce gonna go from a standstill How much will she try to bite off? Well, she got it out there, but may have clipped that tree in the fairway. Could be, again, obstructed for her third shot. Missy Gannon now lining up her third. She took the safest pitch out of the group, and as a result is in the most central position in the fairway.
We are still waiting on the chase car to tap in their putts. That's green light for Missy. You can see she checked the wind by picking up some grass to make sure she was really knowledgeable about the direction of the wind. This shot really requires so much accuracy, not only to hit the line, but can the disc stand up to whatever the wind is doing?
Maybe an early release from Gannon. She's testing that left side. Up to the green, Maria Oliva putting for bogey. Still trying to chase down second place. Decent effort, but she'll have to take a double bogey, and she's now 5 shots back of Gannon in that second place position, and now also behind Sarah Hokum, sitting in 4th.
Yeah, Maria 3 over in the last 3 holes. So at this point, even Katrina Allen, who isn't getting birdies, pars are making up strokes. She's 2 back of Maria, but not having a great hole here. Just a little bit back and forth. Although getting distance, getting closer to the pin. She has not had an easy shot yet.
Where do you think you pick up the white caddy uniform?
Let me Google it for you. I'll get you one for the next show.
I feel like all the caddies should have this. There should be a tournament where you have to wear that, just like at the Masters. I'm seeing lots of different style decisions from caddies. The bright floral shirt, big hat over at Sunset. Here comes third. Good shot from Sarah Hokum. Won't have much of a look for a birdie, but in great position to take the par.
Wow. With how hard Sarah threw that second shot, that was a full out drive. Just showing how long this hole is.
Just 2 birdies here on hole 14. Valerie Mandujano, Juliana Korver. Korver moving up into the top 10 today after back-to-back birdies on 13 and 14.
And we've been calling out her names because she's gotten birdies on some of the hardest holes on this course. So that's going to help your score, and clearly it has for Juliana.
Well, it's like Owen Scoggins said. You don't necessarily have to have the most distance if you can hit the line. Juliana Korver hitting the lines here at Northwood Black. So Allen forced to just pitch out again. She's back on the fairway after 4 throws. And really, a bogey would be a very good outcome at this point. Pierce throwing 3. The disc she threw for the eagle back in round number 1.
She's gonna have no problem selling those passions.
And she will be around where Sarah Hokum ended up with a long look for birdie.
Katrina, her first shot in the middle of the fairway.
Very poor from Allen. And just shows you how precise you have to be. So Valerie Mandujano trying to become the second player to card birdie on 14, and she puts it in. She's now in a tie for 6th after back-to-back birdies on 2 of the hardest holes on the course.
Wow, and you can see got some big numbers there on 8, 9, and then 12. She's about 60% fairway hits today, but her putting has been able to save her. She's at 80% C1X, and you can see right there, massive putts. Such a great, pure form. I'm sure her and her sister are doing some putting competitions in the backyard because they're both really incredible putters.
Gannon has to hit 2 gaps. Her shot ends up well short of the green. To the 15th. Maria Oliva trying to bounce back after the double bogey on 14. Oh, and she cut rolls straight out of bounds. The red flag goes up, and Oliva really struggling here through this back third of the course. Trying to stay clear of Katrina Allen in 5th place. And it's what looked like a tight battle for second when we came on the air at the turn has become a pretty comfortable lead for Missy Gannon.
Yeah, and with how well she's played the last 4 holes, she has really gained on the field.
So Allen pitches back out and back live.
Look at the wall of trees that Katrina has to throw through. The wind has picked up significantly.
She's throwing 7 here on the par 5.
And with the wind, with Katrina's putting this weekend, that is not a gimme.
Allen will have that putt for triple bogey. Almost feel the fatigue from the players. They just got 2 nice, comfortable rounds out at Sunset Hills and back into the beast that is Northwood Black.
If it's not obvious enough, this hole is currently ranked the 2nd most difficult. Of course, we've seen a few birdies on this hole, but 76% of the field has gotten bogey or worse. Only 18% have gotten pars.
Wow.
That wind is really becoming a factor. This hole was hard enough on its own in dead calm conditions.
Hokum hitting one of the first trees. Pierce does have a look at birdie. Good effort. And given the stats you just laid out, shows you par is a good score here. Birdie almost feels like an eagle. So Sunset Hills for the field playing about just under a stroke over par. And out here at Northwood, 8 strokes over par on average. Gannon to try to save a par. Good bid, finds a little bit of metal, tapping the pole.
It's like a marathon from the tee to get to the basket here on 14. Missy Yannon's work is almost done. Sarah Hokum, inside circle 2. Putting for par, strong right to left.
Comes up short. Left looking for bogey. Krista Tatar, who won back-to-back Pro Tour events, before finishing up her U.S. tour. Not in the field this week. She's headed back to Estonia. We have the EDGF European Disc Golf Championship coming up as we see Katrina Allen make her triple bogey putt. Gannon. Looking for her bogey, knocks it down. And the European Championship going to be very well attended. Evelina Salonen, Kristen Tatar, Henna Blomroos, the top 3 rated players in the field. Haven't had a chance to watch them compete against each other in quite some time. Of course, looking forward to seeing them back out here on tour in the United States. Sarah Hokum takes the bogey. So how about this? Juliana Korver, birdie, birdie, birdie on 12, 13, and 14, and she did it in both rounds out here at Northwood. The only player in the field to pull that off.
Absolutely incredible for Juliana. We didn't see any player birdie 12, 13, and 14 in the FPO division, and we haven't seen it in the MPO division. So Juliana, of course, she could be competing in the Masters Worlds this past week, but decides to remain on the Disc Golf Pro Tour, get the points, try and move herself up in the rankings as we head to the DGPT finals. And she's doing work today in the final round, moving up 3 spots, currently tied for 10th.
I'm going to quickly correct myself. I said that she did it in round 1 as well. Not so. She got 2 pars and a birdie in round 1, so finishing 4 under on the 12, 13, 14 stretch. And like you said, Val, the only player in the entire tournament to go birdie, birdie, birdie in a round here at Northwood on that stretch. So that is Alexis Mondahano's disc between those stakes and trying to determine whether it falls on that line, and they're going to pull out, is it measuring tape? Oh, that must be a disc retriever. Trying to see, as you can see, there's no rope on the ground, there's no string. It's obviously extremely close. On the line is inbounds.
And typically the line, if it's not painted, is the inside of the posts closest to the fairway. That would mark the line.
And in which case that should be considered out of bounds, it looks like to my eye. And it looks like they are going to call it OB. So she marks her lie a meter off the line.
And that is her second out of bounds throw on this hole. This is Alexis's second time playing in the pro division here at the Ledgestone. She actually won this event in the amateur division back in 2017. She makes a great recovery shot there. But we do see players really get hung up with the out of bounds. It's a very narrow fairway. This is a par 4 OB marked with those stakes on the left side. So backhand throwers have to be aware of how their discs are finishing, what disc they choose. Will they decide to throw something a little bit slower just to keep down the fairway? It's a lot to think about, especially after playing hole 14. Will they change up their game plan? Maria off the fairway, but on the right-hand side.
Took an OB earlier. Ended up in trouble again. It's been a slog for Maria Oliva over these last couple holes. She's 3 over through 3 holes and throwing 4 here on the par 4 15th. And just puts it straight into the branch. Oliva watching her round fall apart here in the back 9.
And this tournament really has been a tale of two courses. As we expected, almost throwing it in there. Beautiful shot. But we started out the tournament playing on this very challenging course here at Northwood, and that set the tone. Paige Pierce had the best round of the division at 4 under, Haley 1 under, and everyone else even par or over par. We headed to Sunset, birdie fest type of course. But it's not over until this round back in Northwoods is over. And we can see Maria did great work to get herself in, climbed her way up to tie for 3rd, but now the stroke's starting to add up.
Excellent distance from Pierce. She does end up on the right-hand side, but you just want to stay off the left. OB all along the fairway on the left side. 650-foot par 4. Gannon shot looking very nice. Needs to stay down, and she will be safe.
Did you notice just how Missy took a deep breath, kind of calmed herself down before executing the shot? Something we see out of Sarah Hokum, you know, being deliberate in the way that you not only set up your body for the throw, but set up your mind to make sure you hit the line.
Hokum's forehand setting up nicely on this fairway. She's all right with it. Last in the box, Katrina Allen. Coming off the triple bogey. And
wow.
Just ton of distance, but has not been as precise today as she has been earlier in the tournament, and it's made for some tricky scramble shots. Let's take a look at our current Disc Golf Pro Tour standings, and you can see why this could be a big result for Missy Gannon, not just for a shot at $2,500 payout, but also for the points that she could earn. Try to get past Jessica Weiss, who's currently sitting in 12th place. Try to stay up in that top 4. Get that bye into the semifinals of the Disc Golf Pro Tour Championships.
Yeah, it's always a scary position, riding that line, but Missy Gannon is shooting much better than Jessica Weiss at this tournament and Kona. But Sarah Hokum, she could climb her way to catch Kona and possibly catch up to Jessica Weiss. If not at this event, maybe the next one. And one name we don't see on this list just yet, and we know she's fighting for it, Juliana Korver, trying to make her way up into this list here. That will cap off our season, and of course we know it's a big payday to end the year.
Korver currently sitting in 13th place, but she didn't even play any Pro Tour events at all until Goat Hill on the Silver Series. So she's looking well positioned to be in that top 16. We'll see about the top 8.
We did see Maria tap in her 2nd double bogey in a row. Sarah Hokum rowing her second. OB on the left here. See the spotter run over to mark, so Sarah Hokum did fly out of bounds.
Hokum frustrated.
That'll make for her second OB stroke of the day. Now in solo third place. So we see Maria drop down to fourth.
Another standstill backhand from Pierce. Very nice shot from Pierce. She'll be putting from circle 2 for her birdie. Just a great round from Pierce. On pace to improve upon her round 1 hot round. Currently at 4 under, which was her final score in round number 1. Gannon coming up to rest just short of the OB, so she's safe. This is her second shot.
Amazing to see how many players have developed a sidearm. And a sidearm that they can rely on when the shot calls for it.
So up to the green. Also, we'll have a look from circle 2.
And this hole, it's a par 4, but it's only 650 feet. So a good drive can get you halfway to the fairway, and then you have 3 shots to get to the pin to get a par.
No birdies today on 14. Katrina Allen has 332 feet to the pin thanks to Bushnell, the Edge rangefinder, providing that information here on the Disc Golf Network. Certainly playing for a par is Katrina Allen. And you can go to bushnell.com/discgolf to learn more about their rangefinders and how it can help improve your game. Play like the pros, find the distance and the angle of elevation or decline, and can really dial in your game. bushnell.com/discgolf. Appreciate their support of all things disc golf. Back to the fairway on 15. Allen from 150 feet. Right to the pin. So Katrina Allen trying to fight back towards 5th place. Currently 1 under par, 2 shots back of Valerie Mondahano and Haley King for 5th.
That was Maria Oliva putting for birdie on the par 3 16. See now in 4th place, but Haley King 1 stroke back, tying up Maria.
There it is. Okay. Well, they said this is where it went out.
Yeah, that worked right.
Guys,
Just hit those bushes. Okay.
Hokum out of bounds. Ria Oliva did tap in her par on 16. She remains at 4 under.
Haley King got her par as well, so they both remain in their positions. Hokum looking to get up near the basket, save a bogey.
Well done by Sarah Hokum. We saw a lot of that over at Sunset. Precise upshots. And a little tougher for her today, but that one excellent.
We should have a sidearm tracker, because there have been so many sidearm throws on hole 15, and I think in part to all that out of bounds on the left-hand side.
Gannon, right to the basket. Four shots clear of Hokum, but Hokum going to be putting for a bogey, so Gannon's grip on second place getting stronger. Pierce from well outside the circle.
But what a great feeling to have such an incredible lead going into a course like this. It really takes off all the pressure of having to hit every shot perfectly. And so Paige just playing this round very casual, comfortable, and that's when really you play your best. And we're seeing Paige matching, like you said, what she did in the first round. And we still have 3 more holes to play.
Do you think it diminishes at all her performance this weekend because Tatar is not in the field, and what we've seen Tatar do these last few weeks?
I think it would make for great competition if Kristen were here, but Paige bouncing back to where we would expect her to be.
You got to beat the people who are in front of you. Paige Pierce doing that so far this weekend. 12-stroke lead, 3 holes to play. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
There's no shortage of things to make us anxious these days.
With all the chatter in the world, it's easy to get knocked off balance.
Quiet Mind naturally promotes a zen-like calm without dulling your abilities.
Just like Fierce, passion is something I feel when I'm playing. The Passion is a speed 8 neutral flying fairway driver that has a lot of glide and a straight finish. I intentionally wanted this disc to be a lightweight driver that makes distance feel easy.
On the tee of 16, Paige Pierce.
Grip lock, hangs onto the disc, but somehow it fights its way through. She almost makes it to the other ridge.
There's no out of bounds here on 16, so nothing to worry about there. There is some casual water.
This hole is demanding that the tee shot is clean. Hitting anything early could be struggling to find the green.
Some deep breaths from Gannon. First shot pushing out to the right as well.
how much focus these players are required to do on every shot. They're going to be exhausted after the round. Katrina leaves it on the left-hand side, but she nestles it into the side hill. She's inside the circle for her birdie.
Holcomb coming off 3 straight bogeys. Trying to bounce back with a birdie.
Look at how narrow this fairway is.
She gets up to the plateau. Might have a putt from the woods. And that shot from Sarah Holcomb is going to be your Upper Park Play Different shot of the day. Everybody else going to the backhand. And as is often the case, Sarah Holcomb going to the forehands. And go over to upperparkdiscgolf.com to find their great range of disc golf bags from casual to professional at all kinds of price points. And you too can play different. upperparkdiscgolf.com.
Upper Park has been doing so much to give back to charity, even through the purchases they get on their bags. But let's take a look at the hot scores that we have coming in today. Ashley Bauman, we said her name before in this event. She's shooting a 2 under for today's round. And of course, we mentioned Paige Pierce, the hot round of the day at 4 under.
Ashley Bauman was almost in 40th place through 2 rounds and has come all the way back up and is now inside the top 20. The only player yesterday to get a birdie on the very difficult hole 3 out at Sunset Hills, and has had some big birdies today on holes that almost no one has gotten. So a name to keep an eye on.
And then just 3 other players joining that under par club. Missy Gannon, Juliana Corver. So showing how difficult this hole is this course is with only about 5 players shooting under par, proving that even par can make up strokes on the field. You're seeing that. And Haley King, she's at even par currently, and she's moved up 3 spots. So we have Missy Gannon here down in the ditch on the far right-hand side of this hole. See, there's no shortcut to the basket. That is some thick rough. And I remember reading the course notes coming into this tournament and trying to figure out, what the strategy is out here at Northwood with this brand new design, the black course. They said to call the rough thick is an extreme understatement. And these holes are truly carved through the woods, and being a brand new course, you don't have a lot of players coming through to kind of trample some of that thick growth down. So everything is still freshly cut, and players a little bit off the fairway just have to surrender, have to kind of pitch their shot back to the middle.
Thinking about it for a long time, and just such a challenging shot because you've got that very low ceiling and then you've got the posts up on the bottom side, and Gannon throws it right into that low ceiling. So Gannon now looking at a bogey. Sarah Hokum with a chance to pick up a couple strokes inside circle one, putting for birdie.
Paige is still looking for her disc. So Missy's gonna go ahead and go. And to think about where she was trying to place this second shot, look at this hillside. I mean, there wasn't a lot for her to shoot for, so I think she actually made out pretty well. You can see now in the opening, throwing uphill to the basket. Showing just how important the tee shots are, because this hole, it's 330 feet downhill, so all the players can reach the pin, just being a little bit off. See Missy Gannon gonna have a bogey on this one. Here's Paige for her birdie. And hopefully that stayed on the top of the hill. Sarah managed to make it over the wall, but not the best footing. Remember, we have the hill dropping off on the left-hand side of the basket and slightly behind. The potential to roll after a missed putt is very high.
Potential to make it a two-shot swing.
Oh, and she goes left. That is danger.
That's the worst case scenario. We'll have to see where her disc ended up, but it looked like it went down the cliff. And you can just feel the frustration from players on the card. Seems that Paige Pierce has maybe found her disc at this point.
There we go. Disc out of the woods. That was Paige.
So the rough's so thick that even we don't really know what's going on in there right now. Good pitch out. That was from Katrina Allen.
Wow, so she didn't hang on the edge as expected. So that will be a par for Katrina. Holcomb lead rolled down and near that creek. Horse playing casual. It's not out of bounds. Good upshot. Although a blind pitch up, the claps from the gallery will confirm it for Sarah. So, no birdies from the group. Got a bogey for Paige, bogey for Missy, and a bogey for Sarah.
So ultimately, everyone just drops back together. Paige Pierce's lead still 12 strokes. Missy Gannon's lead over Sarah Holcomb for second place, still 5 strokes. To 17, Valerie Mondahano putting for birdie. Just gets it over the cage. Haley King also for birdie. She puts it in. That moves Haley King into a tie for third place with Sarah Holcomb. And Maria Oliva sitting tied right now with Valerie Mondahano in that third place spot as well. So not on the leaderboard there, but Oliva is tied for third at 4 under. And so now, instead of a race for second place, we're talking a race for the podium spot.
Wow, and Haley King hanging on with that birdie, continuing to climb her way up today. Impressive to see. With the par, Katrina takes the tee. This beautiful Anheuser shot on 17, 320 feet to the pin.
Fantastic from Katrina Allen. There is OB left and long on 17.
There is a bridge and casual creek.
Paige finds the first available and kicks hard left. That may have gone out of bounds. Missy Gannon.
Sitting comfortably in second place. And a great throw. She'll be putting for birdie. Look, haven't seen these faces too much. Ella Hansen competing well in the event, now spectating. We have Zoe Andyke joining the gallery. Didn't play this weekend, but caddied for Ella and was helping coach her along the way.
Seen lots of Hannah Macbeth out here following along with the lead card in FPO. Sarah Holcomb trying to break the tie. Mondahano and King both carded birdie here. Can Holcomb match and get solo third place heading into 18?
Holcomb just took the inside route. Lines up perfectly with the basket. She's putting for birdie as well.
One more look at the tee shot from Katrina Allen. That's how you want to do it. Clears the river and checks up towards the basket. So a big pile up there at 4 under par. And look at all the round differentials. Right now, the only player inside the top 10 to be under par is Paige Pierce, showing off the versatility that she has, looking like she may end up shooting the hot round in 3 out of 4 out here at Ledgestone.
That is incredible to see. And again, just showing the teeth on this course. Even the best players throughout this event, they're shooting even or over par.
Pierce inside circle one with a look for par. Oh, pardon me. She was in fact out of bounds, so she'll be putting for bogey.
Right, and so there is a drop zone on this hole, optional, and maybe used for any shots that go out of bounds. So Paige taking the advantage of getting a little bit more distance.
Quite a bit of distance, in fact. I mean, she hit basically the first tree, maybe 40 feet up the fairway, got to advance about 200 feet up to that drop zone.
And with these last two holes, holes 16 and 17, a great drive can give you a chance at birdie, but we're also seeing it's easy to bogey as well. So these are really well-designed finishing holes. And while not putting any pressure on Paige Pierce, or Missy Gannon for that matter, the closer races have really come down to these final holes. Missy Gannon for birdie.
Great putt from Missy Gannon. Big birdie. Her first since hole 13. Her lead currently 6 strokes over the 4 players at 4 under for second place.
Katrina Allen has not seen a birdie since hole 4 today.
This would be just her second birdie on the round. And that's not going to do it, and she's not happy about it. Well, we've seen some of the best players in the world really struggle out here at Northwood Black. Katrina Allen 6 over par today, giving back most of the strokes she earned yesterday out at Sunset Hills. Sarah Hokum to take over solo third place.
Sarah has also not seen a birdie since hole 4. To make it 3 birdies on the day.
That one is money. So Sarah Hokum moves to 5 under par. She's got a stroke on Haley King, Valerie Mondujano, and Maria Oliva, who are all on the fairway on 18. Pierce putting for bogey. So she drops back to 20 under par. She's 10 strokes ahead of Missy Gannon. I think 10 strokes is going to be enough on hole 18, Val. I think she can relax at this point.
I would say so.
One more time, Missy Gannon doing a great job of taking a deep breath, staying calm.
And Missy Gannon, yesterday there were so many opportunities to hit the birdie putt, to make up strokes on Paige. She has shot so consistently, and it's incredible to see the growth of her game continue, and nice to see her sitting solidly in second place.
But the story today, Paige Pierce, it continues to be. She's playing great. She's 2 under par. That's tied for the hot round on the day, and it's really been wire to wire. And it was really this shot that got everything going. She opened up with a couple bogeys in round 1 and bangs home the huge eagle, and that got her going into ending up shooting the hot round in round number 1, and she never looked back. She ran that one down. She's had plenty of energy this weekend. Cashing in the putt on 10. Paige Pierce about to break a streak of 3 straight Pro Tour losses, something that has not happened much. That was all from round number 1. Out at Sunset in round 2. She was just fantastic.
And what's been incredible in Paige's tournament this weekend, 44% birdies on her scorecard, or below par shooting on her scorecard, because she did get an eagle in there, and as we saw in the first round. Paige has just been incredible. Strokes gained tee to green, currently in first place, 29 strokes.
And what's amazing is that it's not just, you know, over the average. It's how dominant she's been over the rest of the field from tee to green. Second place players, Sarah Hokum and Katrina Allen, both right around 16 strokes gained from tee to green. That means Paige Pierce has picked up 13 strokes on the 2 of them over the course of this tournament. So, getting set to break the streak, and coming back to some of the highlights from today's round. Clean up shots, very few mistakes, and when she has made poor throws, she's found a way to scramble. She's leading the field in scramble percentage. Such a clean shot there. Great line, straight through the trees, into the circle.
And really, we've only seen a few errors on her scorecard, and they happen to be on the last couple of holes that we've played. We've seen that lime green disc finding the center of the fairway, parking the holes. Paige Pierce currently sitting at 2 under. But it's not enough room for anyone to make up strokes on her.
Valerie Mandujano throwing from the fairway on 18. Now we see Haley King. She's lying 2 on this par 4, 590-foot 18th. Big shot from King, but missing a bit short and right. It's a real battle right now for that 3rd place position. Again, Hokum with the 1-shot advantage. King and Mandujano trying to put some pressure with a birdie. King, of course, after throwing 3 there, will be looking at par at best. Oliva, who had back-to-back double bogeys on 14 and 15, throwing her 3rd. She will putt for par from circle 2. See Zoe Ann Dyke, Ella Hansen, Paige Pierce checking something out on the phones. Ella Hansen may already be the 2nd longest thrower on tour behind Pierce. I think Jen Allen beat her out in the distance competition earlier this year as well, but pretty amazing. Hansen this weekend currently sitting in 27th place. Shot a 7 over today. Alexis Mandujano pitching up to the pin. Back to our lead card. Missy Gannon has been so deliberate. Taking the big, deep breaths, visualizing her shot.
And this hole finishes off with a doozy. Hole 18. It was the most difficult, and now as the field moves through, it's the second most difficult. 70% of the field has carded bogey or worse. 30% par, 0% of the field has been able to capture a birdie. Just under 600 feet. Slight bend to the right. It's up to Sarah Holcomb. If she can finish this hole clean, she can claim third place. And that was a great bounce back to the center of the fairway.
Did Pava be and get Hannah and microphone ready for the 18th thing?
Nate Heinold in a front row seat. See how this finishes up. And thanks to all the volunteers he has out there helping out on all the courses, he's able to take some time and take in the action for himself. Now there's a great drive from Katrina Allen. It's not too late. Well, maybe it is for her to climb back up, but not too late to get the drive back online.
And to close out a round where you haven't had a birdie since hole 4 on a positive note. Get you ready for the next event.
I believe Paige was able to kick out. She's on the edge.
Back to the green on 18. King putting for par. Oh, it's a good run, but does not go down, and she will take a bogey and fall to 3 under par into a tie for 5th. That was a bogey for Maria Oliva. She is in that tie for 5th as well at 3 under. Alexis Mondahano takes a par, and Valerie Mondahano also takes a par. So Valerie Mondahano into the clubhouse at 4 under. She's currently in 4th place all alone. Sarah Holcomb trying to hold on to 3rd. And Missy Gannon up there comfortably in 2nd place at this point, looking to take home her 2nd biggest paycheck of her career, $2,500, after the $4,000 that she won just a couple weeks ago at the Des Moines Challenge.
So right where we can see that dirt patch, now moving to the left of our frame, that's where the hole starts to bend off to the right. So we see Missy looking to gain a little bit more distance with the sidearm to get around the corner. Oh, the one tree to miss there on the edge. So thankfully Missy does have that cushion. So for Sarah Holcomb, she can finish this hole with a par. She will stay in 3rd place. If not, that will drop her into a tie with Valerie Mondahano. So, she needs 3 more shots to get to the basket. Now, what a caddy.
I was just thinking the same thing.
I mean, he's obviously a pro.
Players don't need to focus on clearing the brush. You clear the brush. Holcomb trying to hit this tight gap. Sets up perfectly for the forehand.
Get it through. Oh, hold on.
Dead center into the gap. And settles out into the middle of the fairway. So far, so good for Sarah Hokum and her hunt for a podium finish.
By far the toughest shot on this hole is to get around the corner, and Sarah up around the corner and in the opening. Nice pitch out from Paige. Just can't say enough. I mean, Paige has had several droughts in this season where we've been wondering what's going on with Paige. You know, why isn't she at that perfection that we normally see, that dominant performance as we saw she started out the season. I mean, she looked unstoppable at some points, and when she wasn't winning, we were questioning what's going on. And since Worlds, Paige, she has not won the last 3 Disc Golf Pro Tour events that she's played. So there's been a little bit of a drought. Of course, incredible play from the rest of the division, to a couple of players getting their first Disc Golf Pro Tour wins. Missy Gannon is included in that group. But now to see Paige come back in that dominant fashion that we typically see, you know, hitting the fairway, setting the bar for the division. It's been an incredible performance from her.
Gannon's third. Couldn't do too much with it. Looking at a bogey, but again, going to finish in second place. And you know, you talk about Paige Pierce. Her average round ratings at these last 3 events that she's lost were above the rating of the players that ultimately beat her. It's just that the bar is rising, the competition level is rising, and we're seeing that people can outshoot Paige, even if Paige is more consistent, right? When she's losing, it's second place finishes by a stroke or 2 a lot of the time. But, you know, Kristen Tatar showing us that she has the tools to come over and not just compete, but win. Katrina Allen winning at Worlds. Here's Pierce's third. Just outside the circle. And just what we were talking about. At Des Moines, average rating 974. That's below her rating, but it's still a very good shooting. It's just that, well, Missy Gannon was better. And at Great Lakes in the Preserve, Kristen Tatar was better. You know, you don't often see players shoot 993 on an average rating and still lose the event. And you imagine, you know, 5 years ago, that almost guarantees a win on the Disc Golf Pro Tour.
And that's why I just love to see the growth of the women's division continue to get better. You know, Paige Pierce, of course, has led the field and has been a pioneer with how incredible her distance is from making putts on a consistent basis. It has forced the rest of the division to put in more practice time for them to, you know, do their best to catch up to Paige. She's not a superhero, although sometimes you might think she is.
Sometimes feels like it.
And when she doesn't do anything wrong, you think, you know, it's just impossible for anybody to catch her, but she's human. Paige has put in the time to be as good as she is. It's up to the rest of the division to do the same.
Get up there, yeah!
What an up from Sarah Hokum.
And I'm going to consider that a tap in and a congratulations to Sarah Hokum on an incredible, consistent performance for this tournament. Whether we're playing in the woods here at Northwood or out at Sunset, Sarah had an incredible performance and was able to fend off the competition here in the final round.
Gannon's fourth. It's all academic at this point. And one more time, take a look at Sarah Hokum's shot. It's the Hempfield recovery shot. Out of position, trying to hold on to third place, and she gets herself a tap in for par that will confirm that third place spot. Hempfield, a certified B corporation that uses business as a force for good. They only use organically grown products designed to help with muscle recovery and pain relief. Feel good, play better. Katrina Allen throwing 3 from the left-hand side of the fairway.
Some audible frustrations. Not a great tournament for Kat. But there's always a chance to redeem yourself on the next one. Katrina quickly lays up. We talk about Paige having to recover from the loss at Worlds. It's tough to maintain after a win at Worlds, and Katrina hasn't had the best showing after the Worlds and the following events. And that could be frustrating to kind of live up to that. Paige for par outside the circle to finish her tournament.
Chains out. Would have been nice to end with the par. Won't happen. She actually won't end up shooting the hot round today. Ashley Bauman shooting 2 under will finish with the hot round. But Paige Pierce, no matter. A start to finish domination here at Ledgestone. Gannon from a knee to try to save her bogey.
Yeah, that's right.
Misses low and right.
There, constructed left. Not the way I wanted to end, but yeah.
Do you feel like you've seen Missy Gannon's play take a step forward in recent weeks? And if so, what have you seen from her?
I absolutely have, and Sarah Hokum dropping in for her 3rd place finish. And with Missy being on tour for so many years, to get that win in Des Moines, it proves that's the reason she's out here competing with the best of them. And even with this performance this weekend, Missy Gannon was there all along. So congratulations to Missy on 2nd place.
But for 1st place, it's all about Paige Pierce. She is your 2021 Discraft Ledgestone Insurance Open champion.
Ledgestone Insurance Open presented by Grip Equipment champion, Paige Pierce.
11-stroke victory.
You know, my first win since before Worlds, so it just feels good to have a trophy in my hand again. And you know, my game felt really good this week. I think it's probably statistically one of my best tournaments off the tee. My drives, especially on wooded courses, kind of get me all over the place, and it felt really good to hit the fairways with confidence.
Yeah, well, congratulations. How do you maintain your composure out here at Northwood? I mean, anything can happen to your disc once it's in the air.
Yeah, I mean, you know, you kind of just, all you have is the control before you throw it. You don't have it after. So trying to let that go and just let what happens happen, and you know, not take anything too personally. You know, luck happens, bad luck happens. So just take it as it comes and just move forward.
Yeah, and speaking to control, you stayed in control of your drivers pretty much the whole time. Got a little bit hairy in the back nine, but you had plenty of strokes to maybe give away or sit comfortable with. You told me on the front nine you don't have a lot of overstable discs in your bag. Can you elaborate on that for us?
Yeah, not just for this event, but it plays well for my specific bag. You don't really need anything overstable or fast out here. I'm really only throwing a driver like maybe 1 or 2 times if I get off the fairway or have to do some sort of overhand shot. But yeah, it's kind of like speed 9 and below for me in my bag out here. It's something where in the woods you don't want that stability. You want to know where you release it is where it's going to finish. And yeah, I feel very comfortable with my bag right now, and it's a really good setup for next week at Idlewild.
One of your great friends on tour, Missy Gannon, taking down second, coming away with the win in Des Moines, and now another podium finish here. How is it feeling? I mean, you get to play with each other during practice rounds, but bringing out the best in each other during the tournament.
Yeah, the only thing different is no Pippi or Rio running around, but oh, she's right there. Yeah, I mean, we practice together quite often, and it's really cool, you know, playing together, hyping each other up still. It's a little bit different than practice. I think it's a lot more jokes going on. During the round, we know we both are here on a mission, and things are a lot more serious. So it's great to play together. You know, this is her second time at the number 2 spot on a pro tour, and she's got a win now this year. So yeah, it's good things ahead, and you know, I'm excited for what Team Discraft has done this year.
Yeah, good things ahead. Another Pro Tour event. This will be your 4th after today's round, 4th in a row. Going into your 5th, how do you maintain your excitement? What excites you about the next ones coming up?
Idlewild is my second favorite course in the world, second favorite event. So that's going to be exciting already. I'm going to actually go eat lunch and head straight there, maybe even get some holes in tonight. But I think what's going to be exciting for me is, you know, going into this event, my last practice round, I was telling Nate and James, like, I'm not going to shoot under par. Like, I was not feeling any sort of confidence at all. My driver just wasn't coming out of my hand correctly. And, you know, I started the event with 3 bogeys in a row. And then after that eagle on 6, my whole demeanor changed. Like, I'm capable of anything. I know I am. And so it was cool to find that confidence again and keep it all weekend long. And hopefully I can hold on to that going into Idlewild.
Yeah, well, last time you were here at Northwood, 2019 world champion. Now you're a 2021 Ledgestone Insurance Open world Ledgestone Insurance Open champion on the Disc Golf Pro Tour. Congratulations, and I hope that you do well next week.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Paige Pierce,
you were almost
dominant
another world champion
here at Ledgestone, hoisting the trophy overhead. And we have more to come. Stay with us. OTB After Show coming up next.
Thanks for coming in today. Have fun out there. Let's go.
At Dynamic Discs, we don't just work disc golf, we play disc golf. Be extraordinary, be passionate, be dynamic.
In this game, preparation is everything. It gives you that edge to become something from nothing. Success is not by accident. Because you know, the course plays no favorites. You know what it takes to be the best. In this game, detail matters. Idio Sports.
I started playing disc golf with my family when I was 8 years old. When I was 16, I got my first job as a cook at a bowling alley, and that's when I made my first batch of beef jerky. As I got better at throwing, I also got better at making beef jerky. Everyone told me they loved my jerky. After 15 years of making my beef jerky as a hobby, I decided to make it available to everyone. Double G Craft Jerky. Give it a try. You're gonna love it.
Don't miss the MPO coverage of the final round coming up this afternoon, 4 p.m. Eastern Time, 1 p.m. Pacific, and an opportunity to watch a battle between Ricky Wysocki, Calvin Heimberg, Eagle McMahon, Andrew Marweed on the lead card. Should be a blast, so don't miss it. Disc Golf Network and free on YouTube. Time for the OTB After Show. Welcome back into our broadcast booth. Alongside Hall of Famer Valerie Jenkins, I am Charlie Eisenhood. Been great spending the week with you and this final round. Not a lot of drama at the top because Paige Pierce was that good. Awesome to hear from her talking about how she came into the tournament not feeling very confident at Northwood Black. Got that eagle, and it switched like that.
Yeah, and that was the kind of bounce she needed. We hadn't seen her performing at her absolute best. She lost the last 3 Disc Golf Pro Tour events that she played, and for her, having that amazing shot for eagle in the first round was that light switch that needed to be turned on, and Paige knew that, yeah, I can do this. And it really comes down to self-talk, especially in the woods, and Paige talked herself into this one. Of course, the skills are all there, but for a lot of these players, we're in really the heart of the season. Some big events here following up the World Championship. You know, their skills are there. You know, are their bodies still prepped for this? But really it all comes down to their mind, and can they talk themselves into still competing at the highest level? Believing that they can do it. Clearly, Paige, I mean, she said it. I think this is one of my best statistical tournaments off the tee. 13 strokes better in terms of strokes gained than the second place finisher. I mean, that is a level of excellence that you rarely see. And so, a very comfortable win for her. She breaks this 3-tournament losing streak on the Pro Tour, and I think clearly has gotten back to where she was before Worlds. You know, she was on that stretch of wins coming off of her trip to Hawaii where she couldn't lose. Mm-hmm. And then, all that pressure at Worlds, she wasn't quite the same Paige Pierce,
loses to Katrina Allen on the 18th hole that gave her so many problems, and then I think mentally wasn't quite there the last few weeks. Credit, of course, to the players that beat her, but this is the Paige Pierce that we know that she can be.
Yeah, and to have that little bit of a fire underneath her, and that's when she performs her best. So I think just knowing she had a little bit to prove to herself specifically is what helped her launch herself into the win this weekend. And it was Haley King at the beginning of the tournament that was putting the pressure on. Haley fell back, but Paige continued to charge forward in that second round, and Missy Gannon fought her way back in the third round and maintained that position. And so congratulations to Missy Gannon for her second place finish. She has put up some incredible rounds this year, and as we mentioned, with that win in Des Moines, I think that really kind of solidified all the practice she's been putting in, the reason that she's on tour, and the reason that she chose to make disc golf her career. Missy Gannon is an excellent competitor, and she's been playing so consistently at the top of the leaderboard.
She won $4,000 at the Des Moines Challenge. That was her biggest payout of her career. Number 2, this weekend, $2,500 for second place finish at Ledgestone. As we go down the leaderboard a little bit, Sarah Hokum, not her best round today, had some shots get away from her, but third place finish here, you know, especially considering some of the disadvantages she has at Sunset. I think very strong performance from Hokum.
Right, and I think she did incredible at Sunset. She was able to score. You know, when we see Sarah Hokum shooting well, it's consistent pars. She's able to stick with the field by not getting as many bogeys on the scorecard. But at Sunset, she was scoring, and she shot two back-to-back great rounds to put her in the position she was today, to be on our lead card, and she fought off the competitors that were trying to catch up to her. So congratulations to Sarah. This was a great tournament for her.
Valerie Mondahano ends up coming in fourth place, rising up 2 spots today. And I think what's interesting about that is that she never really felt like she was putting pressure on the leaders at any point, but good play over the course of 4 rounds gets her a top 5 finish.
Yeah, she just hung with it, and yeah, not the best round. She never had one outstanding round, but she stuck with it. And of course, that's going to result in a great payday and lead into some confidence, because coming off of this round, playing in the very technical Northwood course, we're heading into Idlewild next week. So this is a great warm-up.
Well, through the Preserve Championship, Valerie Mondahano just hanging in there at the 16th spot in the Disc Golf Pro Tour standings. This is going to certainly vault her upwards, perhaps even into 14th place. You know, we could do the math, but she is looking like she wants to, of course, get that opportunity to play at the Pro Tour Championship, and this kind of performance this weekend will help her do that. Haley King and Maria Oliva tied in 5th place. Both players at points looking like they could be in the mix for a win if Paige Pierce was to falter. Of course, never happened. But both of them had a round where they fell back. We saw it from Haley King in round 2 after the great start, falls back after a couple mistakes, plays poorly in the back 9 and falls down the leaderboard a little bit. Maria Oliva playing great yesterday out at Sunset. A little bit more of a struggle out there today, but 5th place finish for both of them. Bounced back in different ways and ended up in the top 5.
Yeah, and with the tournament, how it was laid out, Northwoods to start, Sunset in the middle, and then Northwoods at the end, there's going to be a time where a player needs to take advantage of a course they feel most comfortable on. And I think for Maria, I think it was Sunset. She was able to score. She was able to hang with the big dogs on Sunset. And it was Northwoods where you kind of just wanted to survive. Maybe not just for Maria, but for the whole division. So Maria, I thought it was great to see how well she performed this weekend. It was one of the few times that we've seen her on featured cards, on lead cards, and she hung with them. So nice to see her put up great rounds and, again, proving to herself that she can compete with the best. And at the heart of the season, this is the time to shine.
Well, she had some of the best shots of the weekend, including this one. It's the OTB shot of the day from Maria Oliva. And you got to remember back to the beginning of the broadcast, but the spectacular putt from the woods, and we'll get a look at it in just a moment. So before then, Idlewild coming up next. This is this crazy streak. We have 1, 2, 3 events now in the books in 3 consecutive weekends, and we have a 4th coming up in next weekend with Idlewild. Paige Pierce saying that she's going to drive tonight and maybe even get some practice in. So, like, on to the next. So you can see right here, 4 events, 4 weeks, all live here on the Disc Golf Network. So we're just 5 days away from the start of the Idlewild Open. What do you expect to see next weekend?
Expect to see a lot of trees, some long wooded fairways, and some great competition. As I mentioned, this is kind of like the warm-up. Playing Northwood, it's very similar to Idlewild, where you have to be accurate off of the tee. There's out of bounds everywhere, so players need to be aware of where that out of bounds is and how they're going to strategically play the course. So, I mean, Paige knows what she has to do, and if Paige needs to go out there early to make sure she's getting enough practice time in, I think that's a smart play because it is not an easy course, and she didn't play well last year. So I think it's smart, and I'm expecting to see the rest of the field. This is their job, so even when one tournament ends, it's back to work.
Got to hit the road and get ready to start getting your practice rounds in. What a great story last year. Ellen Widboom winning at Idlewild. We'll see if we get another story like that one this year. But here it is, the OTB shot of the day. Maria Oliva on the green of 10. She's in the woods looking for a birdie. Has to straddle, clips the branch and drops it in, and even she cannot believe it.
I'll give Maria about 80% of that effort. I'd give the other 20% to what the tree did to help that shot.
Let's see from this angle her reaction. Knew it still had a chance and sees it go down. Wow. Awesome stuff from Maria Oliva, and great to see her have a breakout performance this weekend. It was the OTB shot of the day presented by OTBDiscs.com. Once again, thank you so much for joining us. Congratulations to Paige Pierce, another title in her ledger, and it was dominant this weekend. So she hopes to match it next weekend at Idlewild. Thanks to everyone involved in the broadcast, our camera operators, the producers back in Milwaukee. I am Charlie Eisenhood signing off alongside Valerie Jenkins. Thank you for tuning in on the Disc Golf Network. We'll see you next week.
Move it, baby.